All right, what's up, fam? Okay, so let me. Uh oh. Uh oh. Let's see. What is it giving me? What is it giving me? Is it giving me volume? I guess it's giving me volume. So, preferably, y'all can hear me. Worth something. Um, and yeah. So, what's up, guys? I just wanted to hop on for a few moments and just I've had this live queued up for like I'm sure it's been at least a week. Um, hey, if for my saints out there, it's Resurrection Sunday. And you know, it's that day. It's that good, great old day that we celebrate. But no, I wanted to just hop on for a minute and really talk through understanding why your musicianship matters and really just talking through the ins and outs of positioning yourself in different avenues as a musician, a musical artist, right? Um, there are points where I think it is very easy to feel like um, what you do is unimportant and what you do may be unnecessary and what you have to offer may not be much in the grander scheme of things. But I wanted to encourage a fellow musician, a fellow musical artist, that nothing that you're doing, um, if you're doing it right heart posture, if you're doing it right motive, if you're doing it correct intent, and if you're doing it with the right goal in mind, nothing that you're doing is in vain, right? Nothing that you're doing is in vain. And it does matter. It may not matter to 50, 11,000 people, but it could matter to 20 something odd people. And in that vein of things, it matters. You may not hit specific types of numbers or whatever the case may be, but you may very well hit the spaces that you're supposed to hit. As long as the music, as long as your expression hits the ears and the hearts, really, that it's supposed to hit. I believe you've actually done your job, and you know it's real easy. I'm actually it's literally right here. I could have obviously put it on here, but it's real easy to pull into this thing and start questioning everything about what you're doing. And I'm one of those people that I am very very hard on me. Um, like I didn't want to go live because look at my head. This by itself is too much for me. I want this cut at this point. And I got the clippers. I don't feel like dragging them down here from upstairs to cut my hair and do all the hoopla with it. But you know, it's a lot sometimes to just navigate, and that was such a random fact. It had nothing to do with anything. But even then, I think there's a realm of perfectionism that tries to get you to show up a certain way. And I'm not saying don't be professional, and I'm not saying don't be polished in whatever regard that you need to be polished. But I am saying sometimes you just need to do what you got to do. And for me, like even hopping on this with my head looking halfway a mess, that's just doing what I got to do. And now doing what I got to do, and if you probably in a little bit, it's going to still be cutting my hair, cause but if I don't do this now, I probably wouldn't do it, and it may not make a difference to much of anybody. But um, here's what I do know. I know God told me to start going live every day. I know I haven't been going live every day, and I know that I would do better to obey God than to obey my fear of rejection. I would be better to obey God than to obey my fear of failure. I would be better to obey God than to wait for XYZ to be what it is. And in that same vein, even musically, I've learned that when you make certain musical choices, when you make certain stylistic choices, it's better to go with what you know that you're being led into by the Spirit of God than it is to just go with, you know, what you can conjure up finitely and in your human understanding, right? And in that case, and here's why. Here's why. Because at the end of the day, God knows what people need better than we do. And again, I told you this channel had changed. Well, it hadn't really changed. It sort of it I reverted it back to its purest form of things. I didn't really stray too far away from it in the first place, but there was a part of me that kind of wanted to package this stuff a little differently. But there's no way else to package it. It's either God said or He didn't. it's either God said or He didn't. It's either God gave you the song to write or He didn't. It's either God told you to make the project or He didn't. It's either God called you to the musical sphere or He didn't. And if He didn't, then go find something else to do. Figure out what He told you to do. Go find out. Seek Him for what He actually told you to do. Because if it's not music, then it's not music. But if it is, you should be all that more serious about making sure that you're in place, that you're learning what you need to learn, that you're getting the insight you need to get, that you're positioning yourself and doing what needs to be done in order to craft the type of projects that is going to actually bring about lasting change in people's lives. I hit a pocket today even about like doing this stuff on YouTube again. I hit another pocket today, and I hit these pockets like it seems to be very close now in nature. It's like these weird, it's very close in nature. Where it's like I don't even want to do content like that. It's not that I don't want to do YouTube. I don't mind doing YouTube. I love getting to do this. But it's like I don't even want to I don't want to just push out content for content's sake. You know what I mean? This is not my goal. It's not. I don't get on here just to push out content for content's sake. For one, I get on here because God told me to do it. Secondarily, though, the heart behind it, I really hit a pocket today. Where I was like, Father, I just want somebody to be like saved, like through the different things. I want to see transformation. I want to see somebody brought closer to you because of what I'm doing, not just me feeling like I accomplished a task. I want to actually like make some headway and like see that lives are being transformed. And that's really been my cry internally. I think nobody wants to do anything, at least you shouldn't, and it only serves you and it only makes you feel better. I pray very strongly, and I hope somebody finds this and it really does help you. I pray that people will see these videos as disconnected sometimes in my sentences I may be, or whatever the case may be. I'm praying that they'll find these videos and be encouraged to move forward in the things that God said for them to do. And that's really my goal. I pray that very strongly, that people would hear me and be inspired to move forward in God. I do. That's if I don't accomplish nothing else, if again, if this never goes anywhere, if this channel just stays dead, which is not dead, but what's that? Oh, that's me. I was like, who do we live on YouTube? Why I got a YouTube notification? It's literally my notification. But if this channel stays dead, if or it doesn't ever pick up past 73 subscribers, if I lose all 73 subscribers, whatever the case may be. And maybe it takes somebody randomly finding it who may not subscribe, but they watch a video and they're impacted positive. I don't care. Um, I want, at the end of the day, my life to make an impact, and I want, at the end of the day, this content as it is, to make an impact. I want, at the end of the day, for God to be glorified and God to be sanctified in the hearts of others because of what I have brought to the table. All right, and I think in your musicianship, if you hold that viewpoint, it's gonna always matter. Right? In your musicianship, if you hold the viewpoint that this is not my own, this is not anything I'm doing of my own self gratification, of my own self aggrandizement, of my own self whatever, if you can hold to that and you can present a musical sound, if you can present music that causes people to be brought into a better understanding of who God is, of why he does what he does, of how they are to approach him and engage with him, how to get closer to him, how to engage with him in a realm of closeness. Like, if people are brought closer to God through that, your musical expression is necessary for stuff like that. And if that is what it accomplishes, then your music will always matter. It's going to always matter. I'll give you a secret. As long as you make music that actually makes sense and actually has some meaning, it's going to always matter to somebody anyway, whether it's about God or not. But the music that's going to matter on into, and it's going to have a lasting impact that supersedes even this earthly timeline of life. I'm not saying they'll be playing your music in the new heaven and new earth, but who knows? But I am saying that if you make music that causes for people to be brought into right relationship with God, or want to pursue right relationship with God, or want to engage with God, and want to really go seek after God in that way, then that stuff matters in the long run. That's an eternal end game. That's everlasting impact. I think we need to return to, like, I'm for the Christian musical artists. I'm sorry. And I think we just need to return to the value system that it really should be about. It really should be about how people respond to God after they hear us. I think it really should be about us. I need to shave everything. It's going to tick me off. But it really should be. I hate when my beard does that. But it really should be about how people engage with God post listening to us. Can I say that? Do you hear my stomach growling? It should be about how people engage with God after our song goes off, or even while it's playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want us to get to the place where that is the goal, and not millions of followers. And I'm not saying that's everybody's goal anyways, but you know what I mean. I got I got I got I got almost like, well, I got instructed to look at all that I do a certain way, right? And to not make money my focal point, even though money's the main thing. We need money. But I got told, like, you cannot make money your focal point. You just can't. Money cannot be your focal point. You cannot I don't care if you are full time in this. I don't care if this is the only thing you really do for work. Money cannot be your focal point. It cannot be the thing that makes you want to do this. He said, focus on making disciples and not money. That's the exact instruction I got. Not to focus on making money, but to make disciples. So I can't get up here and just be like, hey, my XYZ is over here, my content, all the time to just try to make money. Even if I'm presenting something that is monetary, my end goal is not money. And I have way more stuff free than I do have that is monetary or like paid for, because the end goal is not money. Neither is the starting point the need for money. God knows what we need, and he knows how to give us strategy to get it. Not saying he's not concerned about that. He will bless. He will give riches all day long. I believe that. But your starting point and your end goal can't be monetary gain. Monetary gain might come as a result. Somewhere in the middle. There's something in the middle. So can't be real sad. But you know what I mean? Because when money is your motive for making music, again, you'll miss the mark every time. You will move to present music that I heard a phrase one time, and it was a preacher basically saying that, you know, there is no such thing as dirty money, and money doesn't have a soul, right? Money doesn't have a soul. Here's my, I'm not gonna dispute the phrase. That's not what I'm about to do. I'm about to say this. If money is your main like goal and your starting point and the thing that causes you to make music and makes you make music, you're gonna make music that is soulless. You're gonna start churning out songs that don't actually have any depth to them. I called it in another thing. I did a class the other week. I think it might have been last week, honestly. But I think I did a class the other week and called it mindless music, right? When money becomes the motive, things start to become manufactured in a very it's just a very weird way. It becomes soulless. It becomes robotic. It becomes I'm not gonna get on AI stuff, but it becomes soulless and it becomes a artificial, if you will. It becomes it that's what it is. When money is the motive, the music that you make starts to become artificial. It's not it's manufactured from the wrong place. It's made from the wrong place. And motives really do matter. Your motives is what make your musicianship matter. It's the marriage of motives and message. Because again, good motive with an unclearly communicated message is still sort of, intentions were good, the right concept, wrong execution, but you've got to pull into the place where you're willing to sacrifice it all. Christian musical artists on Yahweh's altar. You got to reach the point where you don't care about any of this stuff more than you care about God being glorified and God being pleased. And when we talk God being glorified, I don't just mean in the sense of, I think sometimes when we talk about God being glorified, ooh, almost lost the earring. Sometimes when we talk about God being glorified, we it becomes like a concept, but we don't realize the full weight behind it, right? The Matthew 5 principle, let your light so shine before men so that they may see your good works and glorify the Father, your Father which is in heaven, right? I think sometimes we speed, past that a little bit or whatever we say it, and we might not necessarily grasp the fullness of it to the end that God is glorified, right? I think sometimes when we say God being glorified, we almost just I don't know. I can't fully get this out the way I want to, but God being glorified literally means God being glorified, right? It means that through your expression, his reputation is shown. And yes, it even grows with people who it may not have grown with otherwise. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean God becomes more because you did the thing. It means that God is revealed to people. If that makes sense, it means that he's revealed as more to people. So the more that he already is, they may not experience or know on a regular basis, but when you step on the scene, when your music steps into the playlist, when your sound comes to the forefront, it glorifies God in that way. And so the vastness and the glory of God is then shown to someone who may not have experienced it otherwise. This is why your musicianship matters. There are sounds of sobriety, right? And I think sometimes in church settings we'll get on the hype, but there are certain songs and sounds that sober. There are certain songs and sounds and projects that ignite faith and that stir gift. It stirs you and stirs gifts even and ignites passion and all that stuff. There are certain songs that like awakens understanding. These are different modes. It brings people into new insight and revelation and enlightenment. That's the importance of even sticking to your I hate saying your lane, but sticking to your sphere of things musically, right? Sticking to your lane for real. I'm not saying that's a bad term to use. I just didn't want to use it because it seemed too generic, but it really is that the beauty of staying in your lane and sticking to your sphere of things is that God will be seen most clearly when you are who he has made you to be, not who you have determined that you're going to be, not that other people have told you that you're going to be outside of God's actual inspiration in their mouth. But the strength of this people, us, is that when God speaks, we listen, we do what he says. And what is presented through that is something that no man can take away from us. It's something that no man could have given to us. That is by the glory of God. That is by the intelligence of God. Some of y'all have songs now. I don't know who gonna watch this. I don't know who gonna ever see this. I say this with the possibility that nobody ever sees this that I'm talking to, but maybe I speak it and Father, let it go out even as intercession. I don't know. I don't something like let Let this person come alive in this. But Father, let the person that's supposed to hear this hear it, please. Please, please, please. But some of you right now carry songs and sounds that are so like and like the genius of God is channeled through your sound. Like the glory of God that he reveals in you is the glory of his genius. Like his like I wish I could explain this the way I want to. It's like the glory of God in the genius nature of God is expressed through how you make me. It's literally like you hear progressions and you hear things that just other people don't. Some of my eye. I wonder if I actually got it out this time. But yeah, the genius of God, the way that some of you hear music, the way that some of you put together certain like you don't know, man, and somebody else needs that. You don't know what that unlocks in somebody else. You ever heard like each one reach one? I pray whatever that is finally got out of my eye because I think that's the same thing that's been in my eye. Um, but it's like you through presenting what you present, it gives permission. Nope, it's not out of my eye. I feel it still. It gives permission to another to be as confident in what God has been speaking to them or showing them or allowing them to hear, right? Oh man, there are sounds that never got released out of certain people because I know this is going to sound really dumb, but partially because there were people before them that didn't release the slightly less stranger sound or, intricate, whatever you want to call it, sound. Because they found their sound to be strange in essence. And so they thought it was too different. But what happened was the progression was that there was another person before them that had a slightly different sound that didn't release it. So their sound now sounds super outlandish. And they don't have any reference point for anything even close to that outlandish. And so sometimes people tend to shrink back more than they will step out on what it is they've been given, what it is they've been allowed to be brought into in the realm of their hearing, even their hearing in the spirit. What God will reveal musically. And so, yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And here's my thing. I don't want anybody post me to be held up because of me. I'm 28. I missed my first window of opportunity with music when I was, how old was I, child? 20, actually. It is what it is. I know I did. I have music sitting on SoundCloud right now that I probably should have released back when I was 20. There's one song in particular. I didn't realize Tap In was like that, but there's a set of music like there's stuff I was supposed to do back then that would have made sense in the coming years, and I missed a big window, and I mean a big gigantic window. So if I can do nothing else, if I never get that spot back, I'm not saying I won't or whatever the case may be. I don't really care. I want whatever God says I could have, but you know, and has positioned me for and wants to give me. But even if I never get that spot, I want to make sure I warn and encourage whomever else I can warn and encourage not to make the same mistake. And I may hit that pocket this year where everything turns back around, and or not turns back around, but everything kind of shows back up, and it's all like back in my face. And it may happen, but it still doesn't negate the fact that I went through years of turmoil and torment because I refused to do what God said the way God said do it. That's just the truth of what happened. And there are people that probably should have had more leeway. Here it is. I believe right now, I have 0 people watching me on a live stream. I don't care about being honest about it. I believe there should be way more people watching me, but because I didn't release music back then, there's nobody that knows me in this context, right? There's not a lot of people, at least, that know me in this context. The problem with that is I do believe that some of the stuff I have to say could really help other people, right? And it should be, even at this juncture, helping other people, because I really have been given wisdom by the Father concerning this particular aspect of things, right? But because I didn't do that over there, people that are supposed to know me now don't. And there's probably somebody over here that's like struggling with XYZ because I didn't make that move over there. And they don't even know where to find the answers they're looking for right now. Am I being fictitious in my approach or just high hoping? No, I'm not trying to beat myself up either. It literally is the fact that when you don't do what you're supposed to do, if you don't show up as a musical artist the way that you're supposed to show up, there's another musical artist coming behind you that may not show up the way that they're supposed to show up. You're supposed to be a piece of how God inspires them. Or it may take them longer, right, than it has to. I think sometimes we get a little selfish and we don't think about, and I didn't either. I won't lie to you. I was 20 and I was doing what I was doing. And I didn't consider, there are people attached to this, yes. There are people attached to this musical project. There are people attached to my completion of said things that God told me to do, the music that God gave me to release. I definitely wasn't thinking about other like younger or whatever budding, growing musical artists that would hear my sound and be inspired to move forward with their unique sound, not necessarily to copy mine, but to move forward with their unique sound. Nobody was thinking about that, man. And I think sometimes we don't because we're thinking about us. And we're so self-centered in our approach, even to our musicality, our musical artistry. And we got to pull out of being selfish. As I amen. But we got to pull out of being selfish. This ain't even about you, dog. It's not. It says this ain't got nothing. It's got almost nothing to do with you. At the end of the day, you're just a channel, if you will, by which God wants to express himself to another. And that's why your musicianship matters. All right, so I'm done for the night. We're not going too deep into that. But I want y'all to stay inspired. I really do. And let God continue to show you. If I can encourage you to do anything, let God show you, even tonight or whenever you see this, um, different aspects of even who it is that you've been called to impact. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't understand. But let God show you, and maybe it'll give you a different approach to what it is that you've been doing musically, and it may cause you to not be so lackadaisical as it pertains to your approach to music and the consistency of your projects and the consistency of your releases and the consistency of your writing and the consistency of your showing up and the consistency of your prayer. Um, I won't say that yet. We'll do that tomorrow. Or Monday. Or tomorrow night. I might just do it tomorrow night. I don't think I'm gonna do it tomorrow during the day. But tomorrow night, maybe. I don't know. We may do that. We may do another thing. But there's another piece of this I want to unpack in general. So okay, that's what we're doing. All right, so I want to give you the opportunity to hold on, give me a second. I want to give you the opportunity to join the Bible study community I have for musical artists, and that is the Inspired Ones community. That is the Inspired Ones community. It is absolutely free. We just running down what it means to be a musical artist from a biblical perspective, and so yeah, it is what it is. We gonna do that, and like I said, it's totally free, and you ain't got to do no extra. You ain't got to do nothing. Just sign up, enroll into the sign up and into the community, and that'll be what it is. I'll send out links as we go live or as we do our studies. What I should start doing is putting some studies just on there, so that when y'all get in there, y'all can get. I might start doing that. I might put some studies in there before y'all even get in there, or before more people, get in there. And yeah. But we're in a kind of a season with it where I am unpacking something called Worship Leader School. And Worship Leader School is the revelation. It's based on the revelation of the musical artist as a worship leader. And I love this thing. God kind of opened my eyes to it, and then he opened my eyes to it, and it's just one of those things that I am committed to teaching. And so be on the lookout for more of that. Like I said, join the Inspired Ones. If you want to see what the worship leader school thing is about, you can actually find it on my page, actually, on this channel rather, and I just gotta remember where it is. I think it's under the video. It's the most recently streamed one. It said how all music artists are worship leaders. So if you see that, or if you like click on the music mentorship hashtag, I guess, it may take you straight to it. I I I won't pretend that I fully know. Let me attempt it from this video. Find hashtag. Yeah. It's actually for me, it's the first one that comes up. So, yeah, music. If you click the music mentorship hashtag, and you see my name and how music artists are worship leaders, then you should be able to find it. But you can just search up how all music artists are worship leaders, or just look for that video on my page, on my channel. And so that'll give you a sneak peek into worship leaders school and kind of how we're moving in the Inspired Ones and within that context. So yeah, I appreciate. It's always something white just sitting, or like that was a piece of lint or something. But it's always something just sitting on my shoulder, or like right here. I have 3 children. It could be anything, but in any case, I appreciate you guys. And again, scan the QR code. Hold on. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to get to the link itself, but scan the QR code up top, and or in the description box, probably at some point after I get done with this, I'll edit the description and I'll put the link to the Inspired Ones community in the description. So that is all. I hope that you guys have a wonderful, 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 wonderful rest of your day, or whatever the time of the day is, whatever. Maybe you're about to go to sleep after you watch this, whatever the case may be. But be well, and again, stay inspired, friends. All right.